What's up, guys? My name is Luke. Today, I'll be playing. Wait, what? Whatever. I don't know. Whatever. But I'm gonna be playing it. But how do you join in? By the way.
Keyboard on. You're embarrassing. You're embarrassing.
It won't work. Is there anything bad about my mouth?
I disliked your video. I disliked it because it didn't look right.
Why would it not turn on? Blocks.
Because you're trash.
I'm gonna play something else, guys.
Just watch my live stream.
I'm gonna play my. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta leave and join another game.
You know, I show bomb. I show bomb. Look at that. Hello guys, my brother.
How do you join a different game?
No, just leave and join another game.
Okay. I'll be right back. Bloop, bloop. What?
Who are you playing?
Guys, I'm playing World of Tanks.
Why don't you go get my mail for me, please? You want to watch me do this?
anticipation of this beginning here in about 40 minutes. There are a number of people actually on the other side of the hearing room who have been lined up for almost 3 hours at this point. It seems like a number of them are interns, some of them are tourists. We are actually parked here at the rear entrance to Part 216, which is the hearing room where Jeff Sessions will be testifying today. And this is where we are awaiting senators who may be taking this entrance into the hearing room. But just to show you how big of a hearing this is going to be, you'll recognize the hearing room as the same one where Jim Comey testified. You'll recognize it from Supreme Court nominee confirmation hearings. And senators, Republicans and Democrats, are going to have a number of questions for the Attorney General. For instance, in that mid-February meeting where Jim Comey said that as the president asked for a one-on-one meeting with him coming out of a larger group meeting, that the Attorney General kind of hung back and lingered. It would seem that it was because clearly he knew it would be inappropriate.
No.
With Sergei Kislyak, the Russian ambassador. Maybe he'll also clear up this issue of whether there was a third encounter with the Russian ambassador. And then something that is so recent, whether the president is considering firing Bob Mueller, the special counsel in this case. This is something that a friend of President Trump's suggested could be in the works. We'll be seeing if Jeff Sessions is asked to weigh in on that.
Yeah, that could be a very, very sensitive issue. Brianna, stand by. We'll get back to you. Senators,
look, I gotta go home and get that laundry. Do you want to stay here?
Sure.
That is role in this Russia investigation, but some will likely push the Attorney General on the issue harder than others. Let's bring
Oh
in,
my God.
Chris Cillizza. He's our senior politics reporter and editor at large. You've done a fascinating bit of research, and you sort of ranked the senators. Who's going to be most aggressive? The top three started with
No.
So, three, Dianne Feinstein, who is on the Intelligence Committee, but also the ranking member on Judiciary. So she has been handling a lot of hats and knows a lot that not every senator does. Two, Kamala Harris, in that she was new, also from California, new to the Senate, but someone who's been very aggressive about Sessions. In some ways, the back end of the question. She was the Attorney General of California prior. Number one, and I don't think this number one will be directly sort of confrontation, but I think he may get more out of Sessions than others will, as Angus came up, independent senator from Maine, who caucuses with Democrats. We've seen him in both the hearing with Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coates, as well as with James Comey, really able to elicit responses that made some news, moved the ball forward. So my guess is King, who's clearly quite a good questioner, will do it again.
Well, listen to this exchange that Senator Angus King had with Admiral Mike Rogers, the director of the National Security Agency, last week on the whole issue of executive privilege.
Why are you not answering these questions? Is there an invocation by the President of the United States of executive privilege? Is there or not?
Not that I'm aware of.
Then why are you not answering?
I feel it is inappropriate, Senator.
What you feel isn't relevant, Admiral.
Strong words.
They are strong words, but he's right. Look, executive privilege is something that only the president can invoke. It's not called admiral privilege or senatorial privilege or attorney general privilege. If Jeff Sessions today does what Mike Rogers said to do there, they say, under executive privilege, or my conversation with the president are covered, then the next question has to be, did the president specifically ask you to invoke executive privilege as it related to this question? If not, then there's no standing. You can't simply say, executive privilege would dictate that I can't cover it. The only person who gets to invoke executive privilege is the president. Once he tells you directly, I want you to invoke it on this one thing, it's sort of a meaningless term. Now that said, that doesn't mean the senator, former senator and attorney general has to answer. He can still say, I prefer not, as Roger said. But this whole invoking executive privilege thing is grossly misused, overused, and misunderstood. He could say that I was invoking executive privilege. He could say, these are private conversations I've had with the president. I really don't want to discuss them. And at that point, as Jeff Dubin has smartly said on CNN's air a number of times, you could hold him in contempt, but that's weeks of months to get answers. The truth of the matter is you probably don't have a whole lot that you can fall back on if he chooses that answer.
All right, stand by, Crystal Lizard. We're going to have a lot more of our special coverage. That's coming up. The Attorney General of the United States, Jeff Sessions, he will testify before the Senate Intelligence Committee. We'll resume our coverage right after a quick break.
Guys, it might be boring to you guys, but tell me in the comments if you want me to play this anymore.
Unpredictable abdominal pain and diarrhea may be irritable bowel syndrome with diarrhea or IBS-D.
Bum 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 bum.
But IBS-D can be really frustrating. Talk to your doctor about Viberzi and just avoid Viberzi is a prescription medication you take every day that helps proactively manage abdominal pain and diarrhea at the same time. So you stay
I'm stuck.
Viberzi can cause new or worsening abdominal pain.
Are you?
Do not take Viberzi if you have no gallbladder, have pancreas or severe liver problems, problems with alcohol abuse, long-lasting or severe constipation, or a
Alcohol
gallbladder
abuse.
blockage.
Yeah,
May occur and can
it's
lead
die.
to
It's all copies.
If you are taking Viberzi, you should not
Sorry.
take medicines that cause
It made me lose my
The
eyesight.
side effects of Viberzi include
Oh, I'm
constipation,
still on it.
nausea, and abdominal pain. Stay ahead of IBS-D.
Sorry, my annoying brother. Blue.
When someone truly believes in you, you can achieve great things. Like hitting the game-winning home run. Or graduating first day of class. At Home Depot, we believe in helping you achieve the American dream of owning a home. Congratulations. Home Depot is the only lender that provides critical illness coverage that you can use to pay your mortgage payments. Up to $50,000 in case you're unable to work. It's peace of mind when life gets difficult. And if interest rates ever drop, you can refinance with us at any time without paying any mortgage debt. So call.
It's my favorite doodle.
There's no cost or obligation to see just how easy it is to get an approval for your home purchase. Put our nationwide team of over 6,000 to work for you. Home Depot. We believe in you. The average family is kept with home. It's witnessed 2 DIY deals, 31 classes.
See me laying there?
And a flood of around. It's a paradise perfected with brand new plus food.
Oh my
Best you can buy starting under $25. Only Home Depot. One or two or both. Because if VisionWorks, when you buy
It's new.
boxes, you get a second pair of no additional parts. Go to visionworks.com/deals for your coupon. It's all about helping you be a better you. VisionWorks. Shop in store or online.
Today's best price.
Oh, dang God.
Rewards members get our best rates points for 3 nights. Instant rewards and a $10 gift card with every night. Rewards points never expire. Let's go get rewarded. Look now at bestwestern.com. Stop.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just a TV doctor. I never looked at that TV. But now, thanks to Steve, I can do more than just...
We are the TV doctors of America. We're partnering with Cigna to help save
I'm gonna
lives.
take this, buddy, okay?
So go, no, to take control of your health. Dr. Clone.
Cigna, together, all the way. Their experience is coming. Their leadership is inspiring. Their experts in things like researchers of technologies. Some call them leaders of the best. Some call them veterans. We call them God's way.
Today's captioning brought to you by Sokolov Law. Call 800-891-5400 today.
Mesothelioma victims, call now. $30 billion in trust funds has been set aside. You may want to go to a fortune right now. Call 1-800-891-5400.
This is CNN Breaking News.
In the United States and around the world. This is CNN special live coverage of Attorney General Jeff Sessions' testimony before the Senate Intelligence Committee. I'm Jake Tapper.
Well, splits are here in Washington. Senators are expected
Who is it,
to challenge
Nana?
the Attorney
I don't know.
General
I
on
didn't have my
key
glasses
issues
on.
raised last
Who was
week by the
that?
fired FBI Director James
Me?
Comey in front of this very same committee. Also about his meetings with Russian officials, Sessions' refusal or lack thereof from the Russia investigation, his role
you
in
have
the
to get
firing of James Comey,
refusal.
and about the moment when Comey claimed the president cleared the Oval Office to ask Comey to let go of the investigation into the fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
Also happening now, Sessions Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein is notified by the House Appropriations Committee where he too could face some important questions. But let's go first to the main event. You've seen him Manu Rogers, who is live outside the Senate
I'll be right
Intelligence hearing room, where Sessions will soon testify. Manu, are we expecting the same kind of drama that we saw last week when the fired FBI Director James Comey told his story?
Indeed we are. There's going to be a lot of tough questions for Jeff Sessions. The first time that he has testified publicly since his confirmation proceedings, and since he had to amend his testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee when he did not disclose two contacts that he had with Russian officials, the Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak, expecting to be questioned about that, as well as the possible third interaction that he had with Kislyak last year at the Mayflower Hotel. Sessions expected to be grilled about his decision to his involvement in the firing of James Comey and whether that was appropriate, given that he recused himself, and those things that James Comey raised last week, raising concerns about the Attorney General about these specific interactions that Trump had with Comey about Michael Flynn and about whether to drop that investigation. This comes as a number of committees are still ramping up their investigation into the Russia matter, including the Senate Judiciary Committee. Jake, the chairman of that committee, was telling me earlier today that he doesn't want to give Jeff Sessions before his own committee. And also wants to look into other
Waffles.
about Russia and the FBI and does not rule out looking into the issue of obstruction of justice. Take a listen.
Senator Feinstein wanted to talk to me by phone today. I sent word back that I'd like to have her and I sit down face to face, and we'll work out all of the subpoenas and all the stuff we have to do in the future, and work out a whole.
Are you okay with looking at the potential obstruction of justice? Is that something for your committee?
We want to leave that to a conversation with Feinstein.
So this may actually
Right, guys. See in the
before Congress, expected
comments
to come before
if you're
the Senate Judiciary.
if you're enjoying it.
And also, we're listening to see what Sessions will actually say before this committee. We don't know if he's going to assert executive privilege yet. Probably Tom will be able to ask the top Democrat in the committee, Mark Warner, whether or not he expected that to happen, and so he did not believe that Sessions would, but we'll see what he decides to do in just a matter of moments.
Of course, top intelligence officials didn't assert executive privilege when they testified a few days ago, but they also declined to answer questions, which may be what we see from Attorney General Sessions. Manu, Roger, thank you so much.
Good point. Today, as a prelude to this hearing, the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein testified at another hearing before the Senate, saying very clearly he sees no good reason to fire the special counsel in the Russia investigation, Robert Mueller, a move the president said to be considering. President Trump is traveling to Milwaukee, seeing Jeff Zeleny traveling with the president. Jeff, so how closely is the White House
Don't get this on the.
watching this
Don't
hearing?
get any sauce on my thing. Here's a napkin, okay?
Did you? Okay.
Now the president is flying here to Wisconsin. In fact, he left
Guys,
just
we
a
need
few
pizza.
moments ago. You can bet those televisions on Air Force One
Yeah, no.
will be watching this hearing. So interesting on so many levels. There is no one who is from the Senate, no Republican who is a bigger supporter during his campaign than Jeff Sessions.
Guys,
He was loyal
well.
to this president, but he drew the ire of this President Wolf when he
Mom, where did
recused
you get this
himself
pizza?
from the Russia investigation. So you can imagine the
Uptown.
president will be watching every
They
word
make
his
awesome
attorney
pizza.
general
Comment
says
below, go to
with great
Uptown
interest
Pizza.
here, because this has been the subject of some dismay, some discord
don't like
between
it.
the White House and indeed the Justice Department. But the president had hoped to change the subject this entire week. He's coming here to Wisconsin to talk about jobs. He's traveling with Ivanka Trump as well, talking about apprenticeship. Of course, Wisconsin, one of the states that the president won, the first Republican to win Wisconsin since 1984.
all of that, Wolf, even here in Wisconsin, the local newscasts, the local newspapers, talking about the Russia investigation as well here. So the president trying to change the subject, so you can bet he'll be watching the hearing as he flies out here. He's going to be making a series of remarks once he lands at the airport, visiting a community college, even having a fundraiser this evening before returning to the White House. But all along the way, Wolf, you can bet this president will be watching his attorney general testify, and we'll see his reaction and outcome as it goes on.
We know there's been some tension between the attorney general and the president in recent weeks and months. Jeff Zeleny, thanks very much. Let's go back to Jake in the
Thanks, Wolf, here with me to discuss the very high stakes for today's hearing, which is just minutes away. With us, CNN senior legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin, former U.S. Attorney Matthew Whitaker, and CNN chief political analyst Gloria Borger. And Jeffrey, let's just start with a story that has been breaking the last day or so, which is that, according to Chris Ruddy, a friend of President Trump's, it is possible that President Trump might assert executive privilege and fire Robert Mueller, who is the special counsel investigating the Russia investigation.
And that's where today's earlier hearing comes into play. Rod Rosenstein testified before a different committee, and he was asked about this because this really goes to him. The president cannot directly fire Robert Mueller. Under the Justice Department regulations, he would have to ask the Attorney General to fire Mueller. The Attorney General is recused, so it would be up to Rod Rosenstein. Rosenstein was asked repeatedly about this issue and said, I see no basis for firing Robert Mueller, and I would only fire him for good cause. So I think he basically put to President Trump today, if you want to fire Robert Mueller, I'm going to quit first. Saturday Night Massacre style, the way Elliot Richardson and William Ruckelshaus quit rather than fire Archibald Cox in 1973. So I think the chances of any kind of attempt to fire Mueller dropped considerably today after Rosenstein's testimony.
Although, Matthew, you should point out, I think President Trump is a disruptor and does things differently. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, if somebody had said the same thing to you, Jeffrey, about hiring James Comey, perhaps you would have said the same thing. You definitely would have said the same thing, so who knows?
Well, who does know? And this president seems to use these types of situations to distract or change the narrative from whatever, I guess, what you say, strengthening the workforce week, if I recall. But,
apprenticeships.
Yeah, apprenticeships. But I could see this discussion play out and the Department of Justice pushing back. But at the same time, this is not the old independent counsel. This is a special counsel that does fit into the executive branch, and ultimately the president is in charge of discharging the full menu of executive job.
Yeah, and so it's not a question about whether or not he could achieve it. He could, and even if Rod Rosenstein resigned, somebody would be appointed who would then do the job. As who was it that did it when Robert Bork was the one that did it for Nixon? But politically, what would it mean?
I think it would mean that you would start seeing a lot of Republicans melting away from this president. And you know, you could also, this is another scenario, you could also go back to the Congress. I mean, I understand that the Congress is controlled by Republicans, but you could always go back to the Congress and pass an independent counsel law, which is what they had before, who was totally independent and could not be fired by the president. And that law took effect, I believe, as a result of Penn Star.
Well, as a result of the Saturday Night Massacre.
Saturday Night Massacre.
Right, yeah.
So that if Congress were outraged enough by it in a bipartisan way, they could always pass a law about it.
And Matthew, let me ask you, because I've been hearing a lot of conservatives casting aspersions on the integrity of Robert Mueller.
Yeah.
And talking about maybe he should be fired or maybe he's biased or whatever. You worked with him presumably when you were.
He was the FBI director.
Yeah.
He was U.S. attorney.
What's your take on that?
I would agree with Rod, who I served as U.S. attorneys together in the Bush administration. I don't see any current reason or good reason that Bob Mueller shouldn't stay in that special counsel role. I think from what I can tell, I mean, there has been an attempt over the last couple days to discredit or discount maybe some of the members of the team he's assembled.
Some of them have given money to Democrats.
Right. But at the same time, there is no honest person that sits in the world of politics and the world of law that can find anything wrong with Bob Mueller. I mean, if something's wrong with Bob Mueller, if he's here today, and it's based on his public reputation,
Boom.
then I think, our republic is in more trouble than we might imagine.
And Jeff, what we should point out in terms of donations to Democrats, you really can't beat Donald Trump, who was Chuck Schumer's biggest supporter.
Donald Trump gave a lot of money. And also, this business of criticizing the independent counsel, the special prosecutor who was investigating the president, this is part of the program. I mean, you certainly remember how the Clinton people went after Ken Starr,
absolutely,
with fervor. Now they would say, well, it's justified there. It's not justified against Robert Mueller. Look, if Mueller really starts to take action against Trump or people close to him, he is going to become a figure in the political crossfire. I think, given his background, he's very well situated to rise above anything like that.
All right, everyone stick around. We have to take a quick break. Attorney General Jeff Sessions will testify on Capitol Hill any moment. We'll bring it to you live. We're going to sneak in this quick break. Stay with us.
I'll be right back.
The all-new Volkswagen Atlas with easy access third row. Life's as big as you make it.
Will you be ready when the moment turns romantic? Cialis for daily use treats ED and the urinary symptoms of BPH. Tell your doctor about your medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have a sudden decrease in loss of hearing or vision or an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis.
The first time you touch the water, the first time you run, the first time you see the sun. Come to life at Atlantis. Book now for endless summer vacation.
I told you not to get that on there. You did. Oh well.
Pick a car.
Just want to find a used car without getting ripped off.
I can help.
Show me the Carfax.
Only Carfax gives you the most accurate price based on a car's history.
Thanks, buddy.
Boom. Start your used car search and get free Carfax reports at Carfax.com.
I got a mortgage offer from the bank today.
What? You never just get one offer. Go to lendingtree.com and shop multiple loan offers for free.
Free?
Yeah, could save thousands. You should probably buy me dinner. Papa's eating steak tonight.
No.
At LendingTree, shop and compare loan offers from top lenders, and in just 5 minutes, you can save thousands. LendingTree, when banks compete, you win.
I love date night.
Somebody's ruining it.
Yeah. Well, you could leave if you wanted to.
Duncan just protected his family with a $500,000 life insurance policy. How much do you think it cost him? $100 a month? $75? $50? Actually, Duncan got his $500,000 for under $27
Don't put
a
any
month.
more on.
Less than $1
You saw
a
my
month.
icy hot up.
His secret? Select Club. In just minutes,
I
a
thought you were
Select
putting that
Club agent
lotion
will
on, which is-
comparison shop nearly a dozen highly rated life insurance companies and give you a choice of your